My name's James Stoker. I'm a PhD student visiting Washington. And I was wondering if either of you think that the Hariri Tribunal has any potential to have an impact on Syrian-Lebanese relations over the next couple of years, or if it's just going to sort of die away, or if it already has died away. I don't know.
I'll take a stab at that. That's a really important issue, and I'm glad you raised it because I think it's very much there. There are lots of concerns about whether indictments will be issued. If indictments are issued, who is indicted? Initially, Syria was kind of the primary focus of the investigation. Over the intervening years, and certainly just prior to the Lebanese parliamentary elections, came an article from Der Spiegel that introduced the notion of Hezbollah being the primary suspect in this. Of late, we've seen members of Hezbollah being questioned and others. At the same time, the tribunal has sort of hemorrhaged key officials. There are questions about how much momentum and whether this tribunal is going to move forward. Prime Minister Hariri, I mean, at this point, the tribunal is out of Lebanon's hands. It's a UN sponsored tribunal. And so what happens, to my mind, is a big question mark, but it absolutely could have a tremendous impact on Lebanese internal stability, on Lebanese-Syrian relations, depending on what happens, where the indictments come down. The officials of the tribunal have played relatively close hold, whatever cards they've got. And there's, as I said, there are whisperings that it's Hezbollah. There's continued thought that it's Syria. I wouldn't pretend to have an answer. Either of those, though, I would argue, could potentially unleash real problems inside Lebanon as well as between Lebanon and Syria.
Mona, may I extend a question you asked? Does the tribunal have institutional power, a strong mandate that it can use to proceed, or does it depend on the favor of the Security Council and the great powers? Is there a view among some of them that this is an embarrassment, which is better to finesse in favor of some kind of resolution, or does the United States and other nations using our influence to continue to empower the tribunal to do its job?
Well, I mean, it certainly, it's operating in The Hague. It's very much, as I said, an independent tribunal. It does have the power to issue indictments. How those indictments are received, I think, is another question entirely. It relies on funding in part from the Lebanese government as well as from the UN. It does require, I think, in reality, the support of the Lebanese government, most certainly. And again, my sense is the issues really aren't there with respect to the authorities that the tribunal have. The issues really are more going to be in terms of how key players on the ground respond to whatever indictments or anything else that may come down from the tribunal. And Andrew, you may know more about this and want to add to that.
Not really. I think it's the funding issue is the near-term issue that this is where I think Hezbollah and Syria have a real interest in containing the tribunal. So you can expect there to be some discussion about Lebanon's contribution to the tribunal going forward, I think. And I don't know how it's going to come out, but I think there are already discussions going on about this. For some time, the tribunal has divided the way it looks at the investigation between the operational elements of the assassination itself and the larger political environment. And as far as I know, the way forward for the tribunal in the coming months and years will be along these two lines. Where it all goes from there and who's involved and everything, I don't know.